Well, hi, welcome to my latest video. Well, originally I was planning on this video being the demonstration of my new NAS server on this test bench sitting in front of me here. But then it occurred to me that not all the parts are going to be new in here. And one of the critical ones, this HBA, is actually a used part that has been supposedly refurbished, but not sure what that really means sometimes, do you? This will control 8 of my SATA ports. And amongst those 8 ports will be the most critical drives that I have to support the pool that has my most critical data. So what I decided to do was take this, and I'm going to change the thermal paste that's underneath this cooler, the heatsink, and the LSI chip that controls everything, that controls all 8 of the SATA ports that this card will support and control. Now, just to let people know who haven't seen one of these, it's actually a SAS/SATA card. There are 2 SAS, which are serial SCSI type cards, and you can convert that by having the correct cable over to 4 SATA ports each. This came with the 2 cables, so I don't have to worry about it being incompatible, and I've already tested it, so I know that this works. But I wanted to make sure that I had it as cool as possible, because these things get hot. Even when I was testing it, I touched this, and this heatsink is pretty hot, to tell you the truth. I didn't actually run temps on it through the software, but I will probably do that at some point before I go into production, okay? So what I want to do is, like I said, I'm going to pull this heatsink off, I'm going to change the thermal paste, but in addition to that, I bought a fan, a 20 millimeter Noctua fan that's only 15 millimeters in depth. It will support being attached to that heatsink. Now, unfortunately, there's no easy way to do that. So what I did is I got some PETG filament and I printed myself an adapter. So this will actually hold the fan and it will slide on to the heatsink that's on this HBA card. And I'll show you that later in this video, how it all works out. So with that, let me first go ahead and take the heatsink off of it, and then we'll clean off the old thermal paste, put some new good stuff on, and we'll proceed from there, okay? So let's get started. Okay, I have the HBA card, host bus adapter. Took it back out of my test bench, and what I'll do now is I'm going to pull off this heatsink. Okay, I got a couple of things with me, including the tools that I might need. Couple of different long nose and flat nose pliers. I've got the isopropyl alcohol, 99%. I've got the fan, a Noctua 40 millimeter fan, 40 by 20 to be exact, so 20 millimeters in depth. And here it is right here. So we're going to put that on after I change the thermal paste. Now, I already tested this inside the system with 8 SSDs connected to the 8 ports that this has. And I'll show on the screen here the 2 different temperature images that I got out of it. So it's just over 61 degrees centigrade on the back and on the front. So I want to lower that. I didn't want to load up and start running the drives because it was quite hot and I didn't want to pump it up any higher than that. So what I also have here, in addition to the fan and the isopropyl, I have the MX4 thermal paste. I know it's an older version, but it's still full and it does extremely well. I got a spreader just in case I need it. Okay. I got some 2x2 cotton pads that come from another hobby of mine. And here is the 3D printed bracket that'll hold a fan onto the heatsink once I have it installed. So the first thing we have to do is get these pins out. Now, they are spring-loaded. If you look down in there, you will see that they have springs on them. So I have to be very careful in taking them out. I'm going to compress these brass, they're not really screws, but pins, and try to see if I can get them to come out appropriately, okay? So I'll try it with these first, the flat nose, and we'll just sort of compress them, and then we got to push them in at the same time. I don't want to damage anything on the board, so I got to be very careful with that. So I compress them, and let me see, does it push through? Yeah, it does. It looks like it pushes through here. So let me try this other one. And it pretty easy actually, pushing through. Now let me see if I can remove this. I'll have to pull the pins up from this end a little bit. There we go, so that they're disconnected from the board. See, I think that's it. But let me get a little screwdriver and do a little push in. So I got my screwdrivers here. Let me push it in with this one here and see if we can get this to go through. I think they are disconnected. Just want to make sure. There we go. See how it popped up now? Let me pull this one up. Just using my fingernails for that. There we go. So they're both popped up now. Now, to get the heatsink off, I'm going to do a little bit of a wiggle jiggle here. I'm going to sort of just wiggle it from side to side and see if I can get it to loosen up, because I don't want to damage the LSI chip. Whoops. Popped off pretty roughly there. As you can see, it's pretty dry. Now I do have a spare of these if I happen to need it, but hopefully nothing is damaged. I'm going to get the thermal paste and clean this off. So it's really dry. If I touch it, I mean, there's absolutely no wetness whatsoever there. So let me get the isopropyl, put it on one of these cloth pads, and see if I can really gently break it down a little bit. I see letters, so at least I didn't pull the cap off. Yeah, see LSI there. Let me give it a little bit more. Okay, it looks like it is rubbing off. It's got like a blue tint to it. This was nice about 99%. It dries extremely fast. Even while I'm using it here, it's drying, which is an advantage that it won't leave any residue behind. I think that's about good enough for the actual LSI chip here. You know, I still see some smears there, but I don't think it's anything that's worth going crazy over. Now let's see if I can get this one cleaned. Now I understand that these boards, they were originally in servers and data centers. That's why they don't have any active cooling. They just have this heatsink, because in those servers there's a lot of very high-speed fans blowing air across them at all times to keep them nice and cool. So the actual cooling of it, let me get another pad here, is not as much of a challenge in those server cases in the data center racks. But if I'm going to put it into a PC, I better make sure that it has active cooling. And I figured I might as well just change the thermal paste at the same time. Let me put some alcohol on this. Let me move this out of the way. Let me put some alcohol right on this and let it soak in a little bit. Okay. Well, it's not the prettiest, but I think I got it all off, all the big chunks, which was my objective. Let's rub this on here just one more time. Make sure there's no big edges to it like there were a minute ago. Okay. So I think that's it. Okay. So now let me put some of this paste on. See what we got. And we'll get a little dab will do ya, right in there. And we'll take this back over here. We will line it up. We'll orient it a little bit there. Get these guys coming down a little bit. And we'll put this in here. Oh, that's one. I have to get a little more light on the subject, that's all. And then this one here. And that's two. So they're both in. Got new thermal paste. Okay, the next thing that I'll do is I'll put this fan in the bracket. So I got the 4 screws that are with the fan. I will go ahead and get the fan. I mean, like all Noctua fans, it comes with a bunch of different cables and connections. That's always the case. Now I want to make sure I got the direction right. Yeah. So the fan is going to blow through this way. So it comes out of the cage part of it here. Okay. So I want that to go down into, okay. So let me move this out of the way a little bit. Let's get these screws started. So this is going to go on this. The fan has to be on the outside of this, and it has to blow down. So it'll go like this, blowing down. So it means I got to screw it this way. Okay. Notice that the bracket designed into it are insets so that the screws go down flush with the bracket. Right? That's the idea of that, so that the screws go down flush. Let's double check the direction again. Yes, the direction is that way with the little arrow that's over here, okay? So let me now tighten it up. I'll do diagonally between them. They have to cut the thread, so it's a little bit harder than normal to tighten these guys. And now the screws are actually inset a little bit, which is good. Okay? Now all I have to do to install this, I did dry run it originally, is it's going to lie like this, so it can just slip down from the top all the way down. Get properly there. There. Slips all the way down like that. So this is the completed assembly. The air will blow down into the heatsink and it will spread out. We got openings on all 4 sides so that the air can come out on all 4 sides. Okay, let me go ahead now and put this back inside the test bench and see how it works, okay? Okay, it's all installed now over here. It has some good lights on it, blinking appropriately. I got the cables connected back. And right now, I am doing crystal disk mark on one of the drives. This one right here. Okay, I just randomly picked one just to see how it works. So everything seems like it's working okay. I will check, I'll let the crystal disk mark first finish, and then I will go ahead and check the temperatures like I did before I did anything to that card, okay? Okay, I just readjusted the camera so I can see the screen a little bit better. Crystal disk mark running there, looking good. I'll randomly pick another one after that, and we'll see if it's equivalent. I will be testing them all, but for right now, I'm just going to pick a couple of different ones. It's almost done. Okay, it's done. So let me move this a little bit over. I will go in the background and show you the drives. So that was drive I, which was the 5th one. And let's go right to D, which is the first one, okay? Let me go back to crystal disk mark, and let's do drive D and see what we get. Drive D, and we'll do an all on that one. Okay, getting close to the end. Pretty good speed. Once I have the test bench completely with the big hard drives in it, I'm going to do a crystal disk mark on all of the drives simultaneously, which can be done. You just have to keep opening up more and more windows for crystal disk mark. And we're done. Okay, so now let me take a look. Let me put it back down to, you might be able to see the green blinking light. That means proper operation of the HBA card. But I got my thermal camera here. I'm gonna take some pictures similar to what I did before I started, and we'll compare the temperatures. Okay, so I got the back of it here. Okay, and then I'll try to take the front the same way I did before on the side here, so we can get the side of this cooler. There we go. And I'll take a picture of that as well. Okay, a fantastic improvement. We're talking about 20 degrees centigrade drop in temperature between before I did this, which includes changing the thermal paste on the LSI chip and also putting the fan on that's running. It's a good fan. Connect it up and it's running in here. I can see it running in there. So with that, I thank everybody for watching. Look forward to seeing this test bench fully filled in with hard drives on the side. I have cages that'll go along the side of this that'll hold up to 5 hard drives each, and we'll see how it all works together. Thanks for watching.